Early morning. The town was still sleeping. Golden light spread across the rooftops. The streets were quiet, peaceful. This is where our story begins, not with magic or miracles, but with a boy, a pair of old shoes, and one choice that changed everything. His name was Noah, 13 years old, thin, quiet, sitting on old wooden steps. In his hands, a pair of worn-out shoes, cracked leather, thin soles, barely holding together. But Noah cleaned them anyway, slowly, gently, like they were something precious, because to him, they were. These shoes had walked through his entire life, through days when his stomach was empty, through storms that soaked him to the bone, through pain so deep it made him want to give up. They were more than just shoes. They were all he had left. Noah lifted one shoe. His fingers traced a long scratch in the leather. That mark, the day he ran to save his little sister from falling. Another scratch, the miles he walked to return a stranger's lost wallet. A tear near the heel. The day he walked home from his father's funeral, alone, just 13, trying to be brave. His throat got tight, his hands started shaking. "You've carried me well," he whispered to the shoes. His voice cracked, caught between being grateful and saying goodbye, because deep down, he knew these shoes wouldn't last much longer. He tied the laces, double knots, the way his father taught him. "Always double knot, son," his dad used to say, "so they won't come undone when things get hard." Things had gotten hard, but the knots held. Noah stood up. The morning air touched his face. The empty street waited. He walked forward, one step at a time, steady, not giving up. For now, he had enough. He didn't know that enough was about to be tested. The sky changed without warning. Dark clouds rolled in. Rain started falling. Cold, heavy, relentless. The kind of rain that finds every crack, every weakness. Noah hunched his shoulders and hurried forward until he saw something that made him stop. A small boy, maybe 7 years old, sitting alone at a broken bus stop, shivering, soaking wet, trying to make himself invisible. But it wasn't the boy's face that stopped Noah. It was his feet. Bare, red from the cold, covered in mud, 10 small toes, with nowhere to go. People walked by, cars drove past, umbrellas up, eyes down. Nobody stopped, nobody looked. The boy was invisible to everyone, except to Noah. Noah stood there in the rain. Water ran down his face, his clothes were soaked, but all he could see were those bare feet. All he could hear was his mother's voice from long ago. "If you can help someone, even when it costs you something, you should." But another voice whispered in his head, sharp, afraid. "You'll get sick. These shoes are all you have. You can't save everyone. What about you?" Noah looked down at his own shoes, soaked, but warm, the only thing protecting him. Then he looked at the boy again, small, alone, forgotten. His heart pulled in 2 directions, keep himself safe or help someone else. He stood there, breath shaking, hands trembling, soul splitting in half. And then he made his choice. Noah knelt down in the rain. The boy jumped back, fear in his eyes, the kind of fear you learn when people hurt you more than they help you. "It's okay," Noah said softly. "I'm not going to hurt you." The boy just stared, waiting for the trick, waiting for the lie. "Are you hurt?" Noah asked gently. The boy shook his head, small, honest, broken. Good, Noah whispered. And then he reached for his shoes. Noah's hands shook, not from the cold, from what he was about to do. These shoes were everything he had, the only thing keeping his feet warm, the only thing his father left him. He pulled at the first knot. It came loose, his safety. Unraveling, the boy's small voice broke the silence. You don't have to do that. Noah looked up. Rain dripped from his hair. His eyes were kind but fierce. I know I don't have to, he said quietly. That's exactly why I want to. He placed the shoes in front of the boy, gently, like an offering. They're warm, Noah said. They're yours now. The boy stared at the shoes, then at Noah, then back at the shoes. His small hands reached out, shaking. He slipped his feet inside. Too big, yes, but warm, so warm. His face changed, the fear melted away, and for the first time in so long, he smiled. A small, fragile smile, like the first flower pushing through snow. But what about you? The boy whispered. Noah looked at his bare feet, already cold, already hurting. I'll be okay, he said. It wasn't true. They both knew it. But sometimes the kindest thing you can say is a lie. Noah stood up, barefoot, cold pavement under his feet, rain soaking through his shirt. Every step hurt. Every step stung. Every step felt right. He walked away. He didn't look back. Because kindness that expects a thank you isn't really kindness. True giving happens the moment you let go. The boy sat still for a moment, feeling the warmth, feeling something he'd almost forgotten. Hope. He stood carefully, like walking on clouds, and followed the smell of fresh bread. Golden light poured from a bakery window. Warmth, safety, life. The boy pressed his face against the glass, hungry, hopeful, still expecting to be turned away. But then, the door opened. A man stood there, Thomas the baker, flour on his hands, kindness in his eyes. He looked at the boy, really looked, and he saw himself, years ago, barefoot, alone, invisible. Come in, son, Thomas said. His voice was warm as the ovens behind him. The boy stepped inside, heat wrapped around him like a blanket. Thomas handed him warm bread and hot chocolate with steam rising up. Eat slowly, he said gently. You're safe here. The boy's hands shook as he took the cup. Tears filled his eyes, not from sadness, from being seen. Thank you, he whispered. 2 small words, carrying everything. Later that evening, Thomas stepped outside to lock up. And there, sitting in the alley under torn cardboard, was an old man, cold, weak, forgotten. Thomas stopped. He could have walked past, he could have looked away. But the boy's grateful face was still in his mind, and he understood something. Kindness is like a flame. You pass it on, or it dies. Without thinking twice, Thomas brought the old man inside, bread, soup, a warm drink. The old man's hands trembled, tears rolled down his weathered face. You don't know what this means, he said. Thomas smiled softly. I think I do. A woman named Maria walked past. She saw them, the baker, the old man, the tenderness. Something inside her cracked open. A wall she'd built around her heart, brick by brick, hurt by hurt, suddenly let light pour through. She stopped, opened her umbrella, and without saying a word, she held it over the old man while he ate. Nobody said the word kindness. They didn't need to. Light was moving through the town, quiet, gentle, unstoppable. One person, touching another. One choice, sparking the next. This is how the world changes, not with big gestures, but with small ones, done with great love. Night fell. Noah sat on his doorstep, barefoot, exhausted, alone. Every step home had been agony. His feet scraped, blistered, bleeding, his whole body shaking from the cold. He rubbed his feet, wincing, and doubt crept in. Did it matter? Did anything change? Was it worth it? The silence gave no answers, only the ache in his bones, only the cold biting his skin. He lowered his head, and for the first time that day, he let himself cry. Then, a knock, soft, nervous, hopeful. Noah looked up. Through tears, he saw him, the boy, standing there, dry now, warm, alive, still wearing Noah's shoes, too big for his feet, but worn with pride. In his small hands, a box wrapped in old newspaper. "For you," the boy whispered, his voice shaking with emotion. Noah's hands trembled as he opened it. Inside, shoes, not new, not fancy, but cleaned, polished, mended with careful stitches, and a note, wrinkled, tear-stained. "These were my father's shoes. I never wore them. They're all I have left of him. But today I learned something. Kindness should be shared. My father would have wanted you to have them." Noah's chest tightened, his vision blurred. He pressed the shoes against his heart, and he broke. Tears streamed down his face, not from pain, from wonder. The boy hadn't just given him shoes, he'd given him trust. He'd given him memory. He'd given him love. Kindness had come back to Noah, not as payment, not as debt, but as a blessing, a father's love, passed from one heart to another. Morning came, painted in gold. Noah stood outside his home, wearing the shoes the boy had given him, the boy's father's shoes. They fit differently, not just on his feet, but in his heart. He looked at the sunrise, and for the first time in a long time, he understood something. When you give with an open heart, the world gives back, not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. Noah walked into town, and everywhere he looked, light. A man helping an elderly woman cross the street, offering his arm, his time, his patience. Thomas the baker, handing fresh fruit to a hungry child. No payment asked, no questions. Teenagers sweeping leaves from a neighbor's yard. Not because they had to, because they wanted to. Neighbors smiling, really smiling as they passed each other. The world hadn't changed overnight, but people had, and sometimes that's enough. Noah kept walking, each step in shoes given by a boy who had nothing, each step carrying a stranger's father's love, each step carrying gratitude passed forward, each step carrying a simple truth. Kindness never dies. It moves from person to person, like light through water, reaching farther than we'll ever see. A boy received warmth, a baker found purpose, an old man felt dignity, a woman discovered courage, and the world, in its own small way, became softer, all because one person chose to give. Now, let me ask you something. What's one kind thing you can do today? Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. This isn't just a question, it's an invitation. One step, one choice, one heart at a time. That is how we change the world.